athletically as he did. The grandchildren are showing that same characteristic, and having visited his house, it was just amazing to see. It looked like there must have been an unbelievable number of parties and meals and wrestling matches in the living room or wherever they took place, and laughter and food and fun, and it was just a warm, inviting place. And I thought I'd say one thing. His wife Sue couldn't be here tonight because of a medical issue, but I thought I would read something about her that one of his sons, this was coming out of an article in the Virginian Pilot. They were married in 1947, so do the math, it's over my head, but anyway. This is from his son, Chris. I can't even envision my dad without my mom. She's so smart, she could have been a lawyer. But she's done the grunt work, the heavy lifting in so many ways. She took care of the kids, kept the family glued together. I think it's been my mom who enabled my dad to live the life of freedom that he wanted. So hats off to Sue. Taking so long, but I was just sitting there thinking, and I'd heard a story about Doc the other day, and I thought it was just, from what I know of him, so appropriate, and so I'm going to put someone on the spot. Is Bert Ashman here? Is Bert Ashman here? I think you told me that story. Do you have a minute you can come up and tell us briefly? It just to me seemed like a story that was a great description of Doc Conkwright.
Thank you, Bob. I just want you to know I was 10 years old when Doug was married. He doesn't know who the hell I am. He was very important in influencing my professional career. I grew up in this area, and I knew a physician, a cardiologist internist at the time, Bobby Robertson. He grew up in my neighborhood, a kid with a toothy smile, blonde red hair, and I came down to talk to him. I had a couple of practice offers in Southern Connecticut that were attractive, but I really wanted to come home. And I came down, and one of the things that they did when it was part of the recruiting is they took me to a medical society meeting. And the program that night was handled by Dr. Conkwright. And unlike the medical society meetings that I've been to before, which had a lot of town-gown issues and argumentative meetings and hospital politics and so on, this meeting involved the Granby High School wrestlers. The coach is a fellow by the name of Billy Martin, who was legendary at that time. If anybody grew up in this area, the Granby system, the Granby roll, and so on, everybody knew that. And it was the program that night, they put a mat out, and these wrestlers came and showed the various holds. And I thought to myself, this is fantastic. And it was so relaxed and so nice that I decided I would definitely come here and turn down the offers in Connecticut. And I thank Doug for that. He had no idea that he influenced my life in that way. But for better or worse, he brought me to the beach.
Without further ado, let's, Doc Conkwright, can you come up and receive your award? This award, I'm not going to read the plaque. We talked about it. You can come read it. That'll give you good reason to come and attack him afterwards. But he does, thanks to the generosity of all the contributors to Krueger Foundation, he has the ability to give a $1,000 $2,000 donation to 2 different organizations, and this year he has chosen to give $2,000 to the nobleman as the reward for this honor. So.
Let's see now, I've been on this Mother Earth now over 90 years, and I'm used to pleasant surprises, but this is a really humdinger. The only one I can think of that was even better is when I actually graduated from medical school. That was a real surprise. And another surprise is I'm so old, I didn't think anybody was still around that even remembered me. I'll just briefly describe to you what things used to be a long time ago, and reminisce a bit, and maybe you'll enjoy it. But I settled down here in 1954 in what was then London Bridge Station, and that was part of Princess Anne County, which later on became part of the city of Virginia Beach. They incorporated Princess Anne County, which was a huge amount of farm land and scattered centers. I don't even know what they called them, but it was like Lyndhaven and Bayside, Oceana, but they were little small areas. And back then, if you had to make a phone call to Norfolk, it cost you 25 cents. And I was very lucky in my phone at home. I only had 7 people on my line, so. When I first got here, there were only 9 doctors here. So I had to put my nose to the grindstone to build up a practice, because people were very skeptical of new doctors in those days. But I worked long hours. I worked from 8 till 3 till 7 to 9, 5 days a week. I worked on Saturdays, and I went to free clinics on Wednesday afternoon, which back then was a moral obligation of doctors to go to clinics. My office hours, I had to extend them some as time went on because the practice built up. And when I practice got on its feet, I decided I want to start delivering babies. And that was I don't know whether that was a mistake or not, but that was good. The baby boom years, and women were having babies all over the place. And we had to go to Norfolk to deliver them because we didn't have a hospital here. We didn't have a public hospital. And I had most of my babies I delivered at DePaul, and I delivered a couple in the back of taxis. Then I had one in the office. Then I had one in a shack down the end of the London Bridge Road. And when I finally decided I wasn't really making a good living out of it, I quit after 850 babies. My office fees, you'll be interested in knowing. I started out as $3 for an office visit. It was $5 for a house call, and I made a lot of house calls. And I charged $95 to deliver a baby, and $10 for a circumcision. And we didn't have a lot of insurance to mess with, so I know that comes as a shock. There was no such thing then. Everybody paid out of pocket. And the other thing was, when I gave up doing babies, I was asked by EPMS to take on medical students in the office at 6-week intervals. Well, I volunteered to do that for Virginia and VCU, and it really was one of the most fun things I ever had in my life, because I really had fun having students. And when you have medical students breathing down your neck, you have to really stay on your toes. And it required me to constantly have to read, because they were always embarrassing me with questions that I couldn't answer. And I decided I was learning more from them than they were learning from me. So I just kept it up until about 10 years ago that I had to move to another office and couldn't do it anymore. I just wanted to say one other thing about My wife, they just mentioned, we were married 68 years, and she really was the hard worker in the family. I was just having a lot of fun taking care of people, and she was taking care of 6 kids, a big house, and cooking, and putting the laundry up, and doing all the things, and she allowed me a lot of free time. And of course, my kids were very active in sports, and they were probably my biggest hobby. They kept me from breaking down sometimes from the hard work that I had to endure. And I just would like to say that I hope and pray that you younger doctors will be able to enjoy medicine and as much as I have. And I do realize that you have a lot of stuff nowadays that I didn't have to endure with, mainly the coding and the electronic machines and multiple problems with the insurance company and the government and the TV ads. So it does make it hard for you guys, and I really do respect you for being able to put up with that. And I think it's rather appropriate that I end up my career of 61 years of practice getting this award, and I really do thank my colleagues for thinking about me, and I really am quite surprised, and I thank you again.